Dear students, as we have earlier discussed that what are the kind of tablets, its classification, the advantages and disadvantages of tablets. So, in connection with earlier lectures, let me start about this discussion on this tablet manufacturing. That how tablets are manufactured in pharmaceutical industry. What are the process of manufacturing? What kind of instruments are utilized, and what are the quality concerns? So we will discuss in detail in today's lecture. So let me discuss what is today's agenda of discussion. We will discuss on this process of tablet manufacturing, material handling, and the quality control. So certainly these all three parts, process, material handling, and quality control, are major aspects of a pharmaceutical industry, which reflects their quality of their products. And every industry has its own level of quality. So let me begin with this. Before going in detail of manufacturing, let me start this. What it is, how we can. That means, what is the tablet? What is the meaning of this word tablet? So tablet is, and we will discuss that why it is required to discuss the manufacturing of tablets. What is the requirement of this topic in the curriculum of this B Pharmacy program. So a tablet tablets are the compressed solid dosage forms which contains API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, or and excipients, and usually in the circular in shape and may be flat or biconvex. So as you see in this tablet, this kind of tablet, these are flats and these are biconvex. So usually tablets are in this shape, and these are, as mentioned here, compressed solid unit dosage forms. What it means? These are compressed or the powder or the granules which contains excipient and the API, and these are contains active pharmaceutical ingredients and or excipients. In fact, you may find the tablets which contains only the excipients, because some tablets are used. Such kind of tablets can be used for the treatment of the psychological patient. So why it is required to study to discuss the manufacturing process? Because it is the most popular dosage form. Tablets are the most popular dosage forms which are widely prescribed by the physicians, and around 70% of the total medicines are dispensed in the form of these tablets. So let me share with you what a tablet contains. A tablet is the composition of excipients and pharmaceutical ingredients. These two terms are the broad terms. Excipient, there are a number of excipients which are used for manufacturing of the tablet, whereas in excipient, API, these are based upon the purpose of the tablet, because it reflects the therapeutic efficacy, therapeutic effect of a tablet. So this single tablet is the composition of the excipients plus this API, active pharmaceutical ingredients. So this we will discuss in detail about this active pharmaceutical ingredients. This has a very wide meaning, whereas in excipient, these are the non-therapeutic substances which are used in the manufacturing of this tablet, and although they have not therapeutically active, but presence of this excipient is very much significant for the effect or the bioavailability of this tablet. So let me define these two words that are excipients and the API. We will discuss about the excipient and the API. So my dear students, excipients can be in the form of this diluent. Diluents, as name indicates, while studying and preparing for the exam, just you need to identify, you need to recall or keep the definition of these words in the mind. The diluent. What are the diluents? These are the bulk forming agents. Which provide the bulk to the tablet. I'm investing an example here that if a tablet is of contains API or with 5 mg quantity, so it is not possible to make a tablet with a 5 mg. So that requires the diluents. So diluents are the inert material. All excipients are therapeutically inert, but plays a very significant role in the bioavailability of the dosage form tablet. So the commonly used diluents in the industry are lactose, sucrose, sodium chloride, dextrose, and starch. So these are widely used diluents which are practically utilized in the manufacturing of the tablet. So any student, if have any kind of question in between this lecture, so you are asked, and if you have any some more content to add, that is also offered to you, feel free to interact. So this is disintegrating agent. So as name indicate, disintegration, I must add an Hindi word, that is khandit. Khandit, right? What it means? It means that a substance when breaks down into its individual particles, that process is known as disintegrating agents. So the commonly used disintegrating agents are potato, maize starch, and sodium carboxymethyl cellulose, carboxycrose carbidone, which can be used in the direct compression or the dry wet granulation also. So this is granulating or binders. Binding agents which provide the intact form, as name indicates, binder. Binder means which has the binding capacity, of the particles or the powders. So commonly used binding agents are starch paste, gelatin solutions, and polyvinyl pyridine. These are commonly used granulating or binding agents in the industry. So other excipients are glidants and lubricants. Glidants and lubricants. These, as the name indicates, glidants and lubricants, these provide or reduces the friction between the powders, between the granules, and that enhance the flow capacity, and also prevent the chopping of that content with the instrument, especially in the at the time of the compression within that die and punch. So tooling system, the magnesium steel and torque are commonly used in the industry for the purpose of glidant and lubricant. And we have already discussed this. In colors and flavors, these are also used. And titanium dioxide is used in the tablets in a wide perspective. So these are FDA approved. There are FDA approved colors which are utilized in the industry for this, providing color, flavors, and the sweetening agents. So let me define the API. What is the meaning of this term API? This is active pharmaceutical ingredients, right? What it reflects? This active word reflects the biologically active. This active word means the biologically active. Any substance, especially drug, which is biologically active, is known as the pharmaceutical API, active pharmaceutical ingredient. Pharmaceutical ingredient which is biologically active. So, reading ahead, let me start with this. Before going to start the manufacturing of tablet, let me introduce about this. It is important to discuss this batch manufacturing record. It is the document or record which contains all aspects related to that batch. So, what is this word BMR? It is commonly utilized in the industry in this form BMR. This meaning of this BMR is batch manufacturing record. So, as the name indicates, it is a record. It is a document record of a particular batch. So, it is a written document of the batch of any product. Right? For example, the product name A, and its batch is A0012. That means that BMR, particular BMR of that particular batch of this product A has all the details about that product. So it is a written document of that batch. In simple terms, industry has a document which contains all the detailed descriptions, all the procedure, all the manufacturing dates, all the procedure, and the officers involved in that manufacturing, including the quality control tests. So let me discuss this layout of tablet manufacturing plant. Before going to discuss the manufacturing of the tablet, it is required to study this layout of manufacturing plant. So layout manufacturing plant, layout of this tablet manufacturing plant. In fact, for every dosage form, there is a defined layout which is designed in lieu of the material moment, in lieu of the personal moment. So officer moment. And in this part, this administrative section, this layout contains this administrative section which has officers like general manager, assistant general manager, HR, accounts, recruitment. So this contains all these kind of administrative officers. So this is the non-technical part, which is although this is important for all these processes, but this section is especially for the administrative purpose. So this first step is the receiving area, where the material is received by a vendor, and after this receiving, this material reaches to the quarantine. And in fact, this quarantine section, once a drug or a substance or a compound, any material is received from a particular approved vendor, reach to this receiving area, that material put into this section, receiving quarantine. So until and unless the material didn't get approved from the quality assurance, that material is put into this quarantine with the label under quarantine. This label is put on this material, but when a quality assurance officer taken the sample, quality control officer taken the sample from these materials, that material convert with the label under process. So under process is the material which the sample of that material is taken by the quality control department. So after getting the approval of that material from the quality control department, that material will labeled as the approved material. Approved material, and all approved material are gone for the warehouse on their subsequent place according to the specification or requirement of that ingredient. So after that, there is a connectivity of this dispensing area. Then after dispensing, the mixing and granulating area, we will discuss in the manufacturing process. Again, after 5 to 6, that is tablet punching. After granulation, the requirement of that tablet manufacturing is the tablet punching area. So tablet punching section, where the tablet punching machine is there, and after punching there is a coating section. Then after coating, control quality section, approved, and then packaging section, and that shipping. After shipping, then for ready to transport. So this material is ready for smart transport. So this is about the layout of tablet design. So let me start this process, that tablet manufacturing step: granulation, compression, coating, and packaging. So these 5 steps. These 5 steps are major steps and the key responsible steps for the production of the tablet. Let me start one by one. Dispensing. This is the first step. This is the first step which is initiated by with the tablet manufacturing or any kind of dosage form. So as name indicates, dispense. Dispense from where? From warehouse, right? So dispense from warehouse. What kind of material are dispensed from warehouse for this dispensing area? Certainly API and excipients. API and excipients. Discussing about the API and from warehouse. To dispensing room. So dispensing room contains the laminar airflow. All processing are done under this laminar airflow under some prescribed conditions of that industry. So these are major points of considerations at the time of dispensing, and this you may see that this officer working in this dispensing area is working under this laminar airflow. this laminar working under the laminar airflow, this is weighing balance. Weighing balance. So this officer is weighing a particular drug or excipient under this laminar airflow, and the labeling here is very much important for this process to maintain the quality, to maintain the effect of that drug. So that weighing balance here need to be calibrated. Need to be calibrated before starting going to start that process of dispensing. Similarly, this laminar airflow, it is required to check the functionality of that, whether the laminar airflow is functioning well or not. So it is major point of consideration is the process of dispensing. There is a standard operating procedure which has to be followed by the officers which is going to dispense that material. Then the documentation. Certainly the BMR, the officer need to be mention the quantity, the dispensing signature of that dispensing officer in that document along with other environmental conditions. So material movement and handling. Other no material of previous batch. No material of previous batch should be there at the time of dispensing in that dispensing room to avoid misunderstanding between that. So room cleanliness is the major concern of the quality. Environmental attributes are there, room temperature and humidity. Room temperature and humidity is the main aspect of that to control the quality. So laminar airflow, the functionality of that laminar airflow is required. Officer's responsibility. Officers from production and QA, quality assurance, both have the responsibility at the time of dispensing of that particular substance or drug. And material considerations. Only one material at the time of dispensing should be there in that laminar airflow. And once it is weighed, that whole surface is to be clean, neat and clean, then the process of next material is to be taken place at the time of the dispensing. Then the quality checks. There is need of to ensure that all the guidelines mentioned in that BMR or the SOP need to be followed at the time of this dispensing. So the next process is granulation. After dispensing this granulation, the next topic is the granulation. To prepare granules. So, after the dispensing, we have a number of packets that some packets contains the excipient, some packet contains the API. So, the next process of that tablet manufacturing is to prepare the granules. So, there are two methods of preparation of the granules. One is wet granulation and another is dry granulation. Wet granulation and another is dry granulation. So there are some regulatory requirements which need to be followed at the time of this granulation. Yeah, we have already discussed this wet and granulation. In fact, we have discussed this content in our previous lectures that what are the criteria and what is the process of this wet granulation and the dry granulation. In fact, in our last lecture we have already covered the direct compressed methods of the preparation of the tablet. So need not to repeat these again. So let me share some steps for the tablet production or the compression. So in this steps of tablet manufacturing, this is the direct compression method. In this method, the ingredients are mixed together to form, and then after blending of that content is added with the lubricant and reach to the compression for the compression machine. In dry granulation, we have already discussed this steps of direct compression, dry granulation and wet granulation. This is the repetition of previous lectures just. So in dry granulation, as name indicates dry, whereas in wet granulation, as name indicates wet. So in this wet is reflect the binder solvents, whereas in this dry there is no solvent, there is no liquid. So the drug components or the excipients are mixed together and compressed, then compression combination and screening, mixing and addition of that disintegrated glycine and lubricant at this step. After this step, this leads to the compression mix and then dye and punching. And after this punching, this is the step for the packaging. Whereas in wet granulation, the drug diluent are mixing and then wetting, granulation, drying, screening and mixing, then compression to the tablets. Yes, let me to understand you about the process of this granulation and the compression, right? So at the granulation, all the contents, excipients and the drugs are blended. So the step is for blending, in which all the contents are mixing. Mixing is done at this part, whereas in this slurry, binder slurry, binders are converted into the form of slurry, liquid. For the wet granules will reach to the next step for this drying. For the drying, this dryer, this is called FBD. This is the full form of this fluidized bed dryer. It works under the blow of hot air. So this the temperature of this blowed air is maintained at this step. After the drying, so this is after blending, this is the sieving. This step is required for to make that granules uniform size. So at this stage, you will get the uniform size granules after this sieving. So this whole step is the process of the granulations, and every step is need to be checked with the quality control officer and the quality production officer. So at every step, like at this step, there is need of the line clearance. Every step is required the line clearance by the QC, by the quality assurance officer. So after drying granulation, the next step is compression. The dried granules will convert into the form of this compression. This is the compression machine. Commonly named as rotary. Nowadays, rotary compression machines are working in the industry, in fact multi-channel. So this compression machine contains die and punch. So these die and punch, with the help of this die and punch, the dried granules are converted into the form of tablets. So this is the process of tableting. that how this dye once filled with the powder is forced with this upper punch, and then lower punch eject out that tablet. So in this process way a tablet is manufactured. So the tablet in the form of this you get a particular kind of tablet after punching of this punching process. Then the next step of compression is tablet coating. Here in the tablet coating there is a tablet coater. Tablet coating pen. This tablet coating pen has a set of you can see here this is the flow. This is the flow of coloring solution. The flow of coloring solution by nozzle. This nozzle. With the help of this particular nozzle and a particular pressure, the spray is spray gun. This is spray gun. This spray gun regulates that liquid solution, colored solution, and this chamber is moving, rotation. Rotating. So the speed of rotation is the major concern. Flow of hot air is the major concern, and the spray gun is the major concern. So these all three parts contain the major part in the quality aspects of that tablet coating. Whereas in this also required the environmental conditions, room temperature and humidity, RH. After this tablet coating, that batch reached to the further tablet packaging, where it packed into into a prescribed format. In this packaging, the document reflect is the batch packaging record. So the major concern of this granulation and compressions are documentation. I have mentioned the BMR and SOPs. These are concerns of major concerns. Then quality checks and line clearance by quality assurance department. These are need to be maintained by the quality assurance officer. This department is to ensure the quality of the product. Then the material movement and handling. These are major concerns of this with respect to that quality and efficacy, quality and safety of that product, because it is the requirement of the regulatory and the perspective of the industry that to produce the stable and effective medicines. So there is need of room clearance. We have already discussed that environmental attributes, room temperature and humidity, quality control. There are a number of tests which need to be done at the time of this process. This reflects hardness, appearance, hardness, and uniform weight. There is need of uniform weight. Then disintegrating time, DT, disintegrating time. So these kind of steps are the routine test. Friability. these are the routine tests which need to be regulated by the production department and the quality in process quality assurance department, IPQA. Production and IPQA department. So these are the responsibility of the these two departments. So this is all about this, students. If you have any kind of question, you may ask.
Sir, what is the requirement
This is
of?
all about, yeah, please ask.
What is the requirement of quality assurance?
Yes, good question. In fact, in earlier time, there are no quality assurance department working in the pharmaceutical industry. But as the demand of that quality, as the reflects, and it is regulated by the not even the domestic as well as MNCs, other countries. So FDA and the in fact the time of CGMP, it requires the constitution of a particular department to ensure the quality. So it is the responsibility of the quality assurance department to control all the checks applicable mentioned in that BMR or the SOP, and to ensure that process is of the quality proof. That means all the steps are undertaken or undergoing as mentioned and specified in the batch manufacturing record or BMR or SOP. So to ensure that process, to regulate that into the actual terms, this is there is a requirement of regulation of that quality assurance department. So quality assurance department works at the time at the level of the documentation and at the level of in process quality assurance. So all the activities which are working in this in process of any kind of dosage form is ensured by the quality assurance department.
Thank you.
Right. Well, any more question? So okay, students, thank you. And this is all about today's discussion.